Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining me in this video. It's quite early in the morning, maybe about an hour or so after sunrise, and I've been up for quite a few hours. The weather has been a bit unsettled today. When I got up there was lots of cloud, and there still is, and there was a little bit of drizzle, but there were a few breaks in the sky, so I think it's one of those 50-50 days. It could actually turn out to be quite nice, or it could sort of cloud over and there could be some rain, but I think it's worth coming out, and it always is, regardless of the photography, and at the moment it's quite nice. So I'm out to photograph some wildlife, most likely birds, but as is the case with wildlife, you're never sure what you'll find. And I can hear and see a river off in the distance, so I'm going to make my way along this river, hopefully get closer to it. And I'm going to try and see if there's any nice spots to photograph some wildlife, anything that I think's got a bit of potential. So I'm going to go off and explore, and I'll catch up with you again once I've found somewhere suitable. My name is Wayne Robertson, and I'm a landscape and wildlife photographer based in Scotland. So I'm all set up in position, and as many of you watching who do wildlife photography will experience, sometimes you just know it's going to be an uncomfortable shoot, and that's what's going to be the case for me today. So at the moment I'm laying on top of just basically rocks, and lots of larger rocks, smaller stones and so on, so it's quite uncomfortable. But that being said, I'm behind some driftwood here, so I think it's quite a good spot. And I come out today with absolutely no plans whatsoever, rather than just enjoy a few hours outside. Didn't have any particular species in mind, and when I've been looking around, I found something that caught my interest. I mean, I've seen a few other birds as well. I just saw some oyster catcher just flew by as I was beginning to film this clip. But yeah, I've seen a few wagtail. I believe they were all pied wagtail. I'm just seeing another oyster catcher in the distance, but yeah, it's way too far off to be worth photographing. So what my hopes are is that some of the wagtail come onto the stones just in front of me, and I've got some potential for quite a nice background with the river. So fingers crossed. It definitely has the potential to work out well, but we can never be sure with wildlife photography if anything will actually land in a nice spot for a photograph. But yeah, it's going to be quite a difficult shoot. It's uncomfortable. The tripod, I've got the camera set up on a tripod, which is going to be a huge benefit to me if things land in the general, I would say maybe a 90-degree angle in front of me. And it's going to be very handy for video as well. But because the camera's on the tripod, if I suddenly see something flying by, I'm not going to get a flight shot. I need to grab the camera off the tripod. Chances are I'll miss the shot. but if I do see things which give me a bit more time to take the photograph, I can of course take the tripod off and try and get a shot handheld, which will be no problem at all. I'm just seeing a wagtail a bit too far away, but it's landed off in this direction, and this is where the difficulty comes. For this situation it's not a problem, I can take this off and grab the shot handheld, but if that had been a fleeting moment I would never have been able to get the shot if it had just been flying past. So I may actually have a look at this one through the camera, although it's quite far away. It's quite a nice spot it's on, and with a bit of luck it may come closer. So yeah, fingers crossed, we'll see what happens today. But as uncomfortable as it is, it's just fantastic. I'm a little bit concerned about the sun. It's perfect at the moment, but it has been getting quite bright, but we'll see what happens. But I'll try and get a shot of this wagtail. So things have been going pretty good so far. I've been having a fantastic, uncomfortable time here. And I've seen a few different birds, oyster catcher, some others. The only other bird that I've photographed, other than a wagtail, you will have seen by now. But yeah, there's been a few of the wagtail going around, and I think it's paid off just trying to concentrate on those. I spotted those birds first as I was walking along this river, sort of scouting. And I decided to try and concentrate on getting some images of those. So I think I've probably managed to get some nice photographs of them so far. They've been quite close to me at times, just walking along the stones and rocks at the edge of this river. And I think it's, as I say, paid off photographically trying to concentrate on those, because if I'd been distracted by other things, and there was certainly the potential to do that, I'd have had the camera off the tripod, turned at all angles, would have missed the wagtails, they would have seen me, and yeah, I wouldn't have got those shots. So sometimes it's nice to just walk around, take your chances, but at other times it's nice to try and concentrate on one specific bird or animal and try and get the best shots that you can. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. It's very, very uncomfortable, very awkward, but a lot of fun and rewarding nonetheless. At the moment it's going a little bit quieter, so I'm just trying to really keep my eyes open, have a look all around me, and see if anything lands in areas which will make for a potential photograph or to record some interesting video. But for now, because it's a little bit quieter, I think I'm going to have a little break, have a drink, and recharge the batteries. So I'm a little bit disappointed at the moment. It's a classic tale of the one that got away, you could say. There was some heavy rain. It lasted for about 20 minutes, and when I saw it wasn't going to go off, I started to get everything covered up to keep it dry as best I can. Everything's soaked. I'm soaked. There's wet sand and things and so on, but anyway, I tried to cover up everything as best I could. And I'd been recording a little video clip on my Nikon of the water just in front of me, and I had my tripod head locked down in position. And just when I finished doing that, I was sort of laying down just observing what was going on. I was in a very awkward position to operate the camera, and just after that a couple of wagtail landed in front of me. Now you get pied wagtail and white wagtail. I believe it's most of the time it's pied wagtail that I encounter, but anyway, there was two of them that landed just in front of me, and one of them was on a lovely rock, and of course I didn't want to burst into movement, and I was in a very awkward position. I was trying to loosen up my tripod head with one hand, get the camera in position, and just as soon as I'd framed up the shot and got the bird in focus, the other bird chased it off, and off the pair of them went. So classic tale of the one that got away. It's happened before, and I'm sure it'll happen many times again, but yeah, that's the way it goes in wildlife photography. So I'm pleased to say that after that missed opportunity, I was visited by another wagtail, and this time I was prepared. It landed just in front of me, so I was able to get some pretty nice shots of it, and yeah, that more than made up for that missed opportunity. So I'm going to end the video by showing you those images, what I was able to capture of these beautiful small birds. They're very characterful. I just love how they go along the rocks. They're quite quick, and they can at times be difficult to spot, especially if they're a bit further away. They can be a combination of black, grey and white, and they can blend in and hide behind the rocks, go in little dips and so on. So they can be quite hard to spot, but very rewarding little birds to photograph. So I'm going to have a coffee, relax for a while, just enjoy the scenery, watch the birds. There's been other birds. I've only photographed one other bird. There would have been other opportunities, but things have been a bit far away, and there's been issues with heat, haze, atmospheric distortion, so you can see the shimmering not too far off away from me in the distance. So that certainly made me avoid taking a few photographs that I would otherwise have liked to capture. But anyway, I hope you enjoy what's coming up in the next few seconds. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I really hope you'll join me in my next video.